Hello, dear friends. In the present session, you are capable to realize and appreciate about location and distribution of water, world oceans, oceanic submarine topography, oceanic temperature, and factors affecting on the distribution of temperature, salinity, causes and impacts, oceanic currents, and factors affecting on the oceanic currents.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬರಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್. PDF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು.
Okay, before the discussion of the oceanosphere, we try to know what is geography and what are the branches of geography. Why should we the study of geography at present era? The word geography is derived from Greek word geo and graphia. Geo means earth, graphia means the study of the earth. Broadly, we can classify the geography into two: physical geography and human geography. This is the natural science, but also the social science. Geomorphology, climatology, meteorology, oceanography, biogeography, seismology, volcanology, mathematical geography. These are the physical science. So, means physical geography study on the natural events are which are the physical aspect in the modification or morphological changes in the environment. Human geography deals about the man and his environment or man activities. So, economic geography, historical geography, political geography, cultural geography, population geography, settlement geography, regional geography, and agriculture geography. These are related to the human activities. For example, economic geography, almost the economic activities is controlling by the geographical factors, or what we call the activities, either primary activities, secondary activities, tertiary activities, or quaternary activities. So, in primary activities, agriculture, mining, fishing, forestry, these are all controlled by the geography, means the human activities. Okay. So, the geography is an interdisciplinary subject, both natural science and social science, botany, physics, and other the science, the pure or natural sciences are linked or related with the geography. So, the hydrosphere is one of the important a component of physical geography. The study of the water or water occupied the continent surrounded by the water. The systematical study of the covered water is known as hydrosphere. So you are seeing this picture or map. There are continents and the oceanic body. So hydrosphere is one of the components of physical geography already I told. It is extensive than lithosphere over the surface. Mean ಇವಾಗ ಲಿಥೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಭೂವಲಯ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಭೂಭಾಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಭೂಮಂಡಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವಿಸ್ತಾರತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಲಗೋಳ ಅಂತಾರೆ. It is look like a blue planet from the top. So because of the ocean water nearly 97.25%. Ice and glacier is only 2.05%. Groundwater 0.68%. Lake 0.01%. Others 0.01%. So ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೀಲಿ ಗ್ರಹ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿ ಹರಡಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜಲರಾಶಿ ಒಂದು ನೀಲಿ ಆಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೀಲಿ ಗ್ರಹ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. And the 53% of area in southern hemisphere is covered by water. Therefore, in the southern hemisphere is also known as water hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, land hemisphere, because the most of the north is covered by the continental body or land body. Oceanography, hydrosphere means the water about 71% of the total Earth's surface is covered by water, which is about 367 million square kilometers. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಊಹೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಡೀ ಭೂಮಂಡಲ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರ 71% ಭಾಗವನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಲಗೋಳ ಆವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. Almost the land area is only about 143 million square kilometers. So in the form of plateau, mountain, plains. ಏನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಸ್ಥಭೂಮಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಪರ್ವತಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಮೈದಾನಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. So almost 1:2.40 land and water ratio. Just imagine the water covered land. And there are 5 major oceans recognized, namely the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. So these are the major 5 oceans over the world. The systematically or scientifically study of the oceans and seas called oceanography. Relief features, temperature, salinity, tides, ocean currents, and ocean deposits are studied in the oceanography. These are systematically studied in this oceanography. Therefore, it's a science. What is sea? What are the differences between the sea and ocean? Simply, we say the ocean is mother, the sea is a daughter. Okay? Means the sea is a part of the ocean. It's an arm of ocean, either completely or partially enclosed by and is known as sea. It's a number of seas over the world. And again, the base ಕೊಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Bays have a wide entrance between two headlands. ಕಾರ್ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಗಲ್ಫ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು is an enlarged bay. It is extensive and penetration of sea water far into the land. And what is strait? A narrow passage of water connecting two larger water bodies is called strait. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಲಸಂಧಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Thus it separates two landmass. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಭೂಭಾಗಗಳೇನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇರ್ಪಡಿಸುವಂತಹ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಲಭಾಗ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಂಧಿ ಅಂತ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ in between India and Sri Lanka there is a pop strait. And submarine topography, these are the very important features under the water. The ocean floor is not a homogeneous plane. It is heterogeneous by characteristics. Even like Earth, the plain snow peak ridges are found in the ocean body. The depth of the sea is measured by an unit called fathom. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರದ ಆಳವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫ್ಯಾಥಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಥಮ್ 6 ಅಡಿಗೆ ಸಮಾನವಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಡೀ ಒಂದು ವಿಸ್ತಾರ ಸಾಗರದ ವಿಸ್ತಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಆಳವನ್ನು ನಾಟಿಕಲ್ ಮೈಲಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. The unit used to measure length and area of the ocean is nautical mile. Nautical mile ನಾವು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. So this diagram shows the relief features. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಗರ ತಳ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅಂತ ನಾವು. This diagram is enough to understand what are the features under the water or in the sea body. The features are spread into 4 actually. One is continental shelf, continental slope, the continental rise, the ocean plain or ocean floor, ocean cliffs and or the ocean trenches. So these are the major relief features over under the sea surface. The continental shelf, it is the meeting zone of the land mass and the ocean. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂಬಲಕ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಸಾಗರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಪರ್ಕವನ್ನ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸುವಂತಹ ಭಾಗವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Here the average depth of the sea shelf is about 100 fathoms. Already had got 1 fathom is equal to 6 feet. Here the 100 fathoms ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮಾರು 600 ಅಡಿಗಳಿಂದ ಇದು ಸುಮಾರು 200 ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಳದವರೆಗೆ ಇದು ವಿಸ್ತಾರತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಎಂಬುದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಎರಡನೇದು ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್, ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಇಳಿಜಾರು ಪ್ರದೇಶ. It is relatively steep slope. It descending from the edge of the continental shelf to the deep ocean bed. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಇಳಿಮುಖವಾಗುವಂತದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಗ್ಗು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಆಳ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. So the angle of slope varies from 2 to 5 degrees. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇಂದ 5 ಡಿಗ್ರಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಇಳಿಜಾರು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಇಳಿಜಾರುನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. The depth of the slope extends up to 2000 fathoms, almost 12,000 feet, or about 3,660 meters of depth in the continental slope. ಇದನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಳ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಳಿಮುಖವಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. So again, this section accounts for about 8.5% of the total area of the ocean. Means the continental slope occupied 8.5% of the total area of the ocean. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರದ ವಿಸ್ತಾರತೆ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಮಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮಾರು 8.5ರಷ್ಟು ಈ ಒಂದು ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಹಿಡಿದಿರೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. It is about 12.4% in the Atlantic Ocean. ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 12.4 ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನ ಸುಮಾರು 7 ಅದರ ಒಟ್ಟು ವಿಸ್ತೀರ್ಣತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 7 ಭಾಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ 6.5% ಈ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. And most of the ocean's deeps and canyons lies in the continental slope, which is indicate complexity of continental slope. So maximum the canyons were found in this continental slope region compared to the ocean floor. And next third relief features is very important one, deep ocean floor. So like plain region, what we see over the continental body, ಈ ಒಂದು ಭೂಖಂಡದ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಟ್ಟ ಅಥವಾ ಮೈದಾನ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಹೋಲಿಕೆಯೇ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಭಾಗವನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. It is also abyssal plain. These are extensive and monotonous than the plains of the land surface. Here the depth is increased compared to there, that is the continental shelf and slope. The depth varies from 3,000 to 6,000 meters. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮಾರು 3,000ದಿಂದ 6,000 ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಳ. Just 6,000 meter multiplied by 3.33. So you will get in feet. So ಸುಮಾರು 18,000 ಅಡಿಗಳಷ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಡಿಗಳ ಆಳವನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. And they account more than 82.7% of the total area of the ocean floor. ಇದು ಸುಮಾರು 82.7% ಈ ಒಂದು ಒಟ್ಟು ಸಾಗರದ ವಿಸ್ತಾರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಪಾಲು ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. So it's clearly shows the ocean floor or deep ocean floor covered. It's a maximum in the oceanic relief features. And it is about 90.6% in the Indian Ocean, 90.3% in the Pacific, and 85.8% in the Atlantic Ocean. So clearly indicate the Indian Oceans as the first rank in occupying the ocean floor. So ಮೈದಾನ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So and this plain is most extensive in between 20 degree north to 60 degree south latitude. Means so ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಗೋಳಾರ್ಧದ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷಾಂಶ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, 20 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಕ್ಷಾಂಶದಿಂದ 60 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಕ್ಷಾಂಶದ ನಡುವೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಮೈದಾನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. What is this ocean trenches and deeps? The trenches are the unique features of the ocean. The ocean are not only extensive than the land masses, but also more deeper than the height of mountain peaks. So the submarine canyons are trenches and deeps accounts for about 1.2% of the total area of the ocean floor. Then trenches are the narrow, elongated depressions of the ocean floor, while deepest points got deeps. And the ocean trenches and deeps. So nearly more than 5,500 meters of depth in the ocean deep or in the trenches. Believe it or not, they are below that formed from downfalling of the earth crust. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂಸ್ಥಾನ ಪಲ್ಲಟ ಅಥವಾ ಭೂಸ್ಥಾನ ಪಲ್ಲಟ ಕೆಳಸ್ತರ ಪಲ್ಲಟ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಕೆಳಭಿಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ತರಭಂಗ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆ ಸ್ತರಭಂಗದಿಂದ ಉಂಟಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಂಬ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Here, the Mariana Trench is that's a Challenger Deep is the near Philippines Island in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest part of the ocean floor. See, believe or not, 11,033 meters are almost 11 kilometers deep. And one more interesting is the Mount Everest peak is submerged in the deep. Its peak lies at 2 kilometers below the sea level. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಸಬಹುದಾದ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನೂ 2 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹಿಮಾಲಯವನ್ನ ಮುಳುಗಿಸಿದ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ನೂ 2 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ನಷ್ಟು ಈ ಒಂದು ನೀರು ಇರುವಂತದನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. And there are 57 trenches or deeps over the world. So almost Pacific Ocean has 32 trenches, Atlantic Ocean 19 trenches, and Indian Ocean has 6 trenches. So we elected that is 57 trenches. So among the 32 in the Pacific Ocean, the Challenger Deep, that is 11,033 meters of depth. It is near East Mariana Islands in the Pacific Ocean. And Tonga Trench, the 10,882 meters. It is placed in South Pacific near Tonga Islands. And one more Philippine Trench. So, ಸುಮಾರು 10,545 ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಳವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಫಿಲಿಪೈನ್ಸ್ ದ್ವೀಪದ ಬಳಿ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಕುರಿಲೆ ಕಾಮ್ಚಟ್ಕಾ ಟ್ರೆಂಚ್ ಇದು 10,542 ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಳವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ಇದು ಉತ್ತರ ಜಪಾನ್ ಭಾಗದ ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಿಕ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಚ್ nearly 10,047. It is in South Pacific near New Zealand. So these are the major trench in the sea in the Pacific Oceans. And relief of the Atlantic Ocean. So we'll go one by one. What is the relief of the Atlantic Ocean? It is the second largest ocean, extending over 82 million square kilometers. And about half of the Pacific Ocean, it is almost S-shaped. About 13.7% of the ocean is continental shelf. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದ ಒಟ್ಟು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಭೂಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 13.7% ಈ ಒಂದು ಖಂಡಾವರಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. And Indian Ocean, it is a half of ocean is landlocked by the continental of Asia. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರ ಪೂರ್ವಭಾಗವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗದ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರದ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಭೂ ಖಂಡದಿಂದ ಆವೃತವಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. It is surrounded by the ancient Gondwana land masses, namely Africa in the west, Australia in the east, Antarctica in the south, and Indian subcontinent in the north. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸಬ್ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟ್, ದಕ್ಷಿಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಟಾರ್ಟಿಕಾ, ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾ, ಪಶ್ಚಿಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ, ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಿಂದ ಆವರಿಸಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆವೃತವಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. The total area is 73.5 million square kilometers. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರದ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರದ ವಿಸ್ತೀರ್ಣ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ಸುಮಾರು 73.5 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ಚದರ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ದ Pacific is less. And second one is relief of the Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is considered the oldest ocean of the Earth. It is also stated as the ancient Panthalassa, which was surrounded the Pangea supercontinent. When you study the continental drift theory by Wegener and tetrahedral theory by Lothian Green, when you glance these the theories, definitely you will get an idea about the Panthalassa and Pangea. ಸೊ ಹಿಂದೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಖಂಡಗಳು ಏನಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದು ಗೂಡಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಪ್ಯಾಂಜಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಂತರ ಇಡೀ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಂಜಿಯವನ್ನ, ಇಡೀ ಖಂಡಭಾಗಗಳು ಏನು ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು 7 ಖಂಡಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವೋ, ಆ 7 ಖಂಡಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ಯಾಂಜಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀರು ಸುತ್ತುವರೆದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ವೆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ಡ್ರಿಫ್ಟ್ the landmass or Pangea, the gap is covered by the water or Panthalassa. So the present ಏನು ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಗರಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತಿದ್ವೋ ಅವು ಒಂದು ಗುಡಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಟೆಟ್ರಾಹೆಡ್ರಲ್ ಥಿಯರಿ, ಚತುರ್ಮುಖಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ಫ್ರೆಡ್ ವೆಗನರ್ನ ಖಂಡಾಂತರ ಚಲನೆಯ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತ ಅಂತ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಓದಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಇದರ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And it is about 163 million square kilometers and also deepest of the oceans. ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲೇ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾದಂತಹ ಸಾಗರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಶಾಂತ ಸಾಗರ ಸುಮಾರು 166.3 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ಚದರ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ವಿಸ್ತಾರತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಆಳವಾದ ಸಾಗರವಾಗಿ ಇದು ಇದೆ. And it is surrounded by a ring of islands and mountains which have most active volcanoes. Hence it is described the Pacific Ring of Fire. ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಕಿಯ ವೃತ್ತ ಅಂತ ನಾವು, most of the active volcanoes are found in this region. ಈ ಒಂದು ಶಾಂತಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜಾಗೃತ ಜ್ವಾಲಾಮುಖಿಗಳು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ, ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಈ ಒಂದು ಜ್ವಾಲಾಮುಖಿಗಳು ಸಂಭವಿಸುತ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಜ್ವಾಲಾಮುಖಿಯ ಆವೃತ್ತ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಲೀಫ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕ್ ಓಷನ್, ಇದನ್ನ ಧ್ರುವೀಯ ಸಾಗರ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಶೇಪ್, ಓಷನ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಪೋಲ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸರೌಂಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಯುರೋಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಏಷ್ಯಾ. ಇದು ವೃತ್ತಾಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದು ಉತ್ತರ ಧ್ರುವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜಲಭಾಗ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಏಷ್ಯಾ ಮತ್ತು ಯುರೋಪ್ ನಿಂದ ಆವೃತವಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಥ್ರೂ ಬೇರಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬೇರಿಂಗ್ ಜಲಸಂಧಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ವೈಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ದ ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಓಷನ್. And temperature of ocean. So temperature, salinity, oceanic tides and currents are the occurred because of the factors or variation in the oceanic movement. The temperature of ocean, the ocean has the temperature of some temperature. Temperature of the ocean water is the basic physical property which largely determines the salinity as well as the density. The more number of factors are influence of controlling the temperature of the ocean temperature. The temperature varies from ocean to ocean, or area to area, or latitudes to latitudes. The temperature in ocean water varies from normally 5 degrees centigrade to over 30 degree, 33 degree centigrade. And various factors are influence the temperature, oceanic temperature. It increases when it receives insolation from the sun. The solar energy is the basic or the primary source of a temperature, both the ocean and land or the atmosphere. The temperature of the ocean water is not the same. Rather, it varies from place to place and time to time. The temperature varies because of the rotation of the, because of the movements of the oceanic currents, because of the tides, because of the gravitation. So the temperature is varies, and the latitudes are also influencing or determining the temperature. See, we will see one by one various factors. What they are? What are the factors affecting on the influence the ocean air temperature or determining the oceanic air temperature? Already I told. Again, I explained the latitude. Over the ocean or in the ocean, the temperature is not same. So temperature ocean water in more near to equator and less at poles. Commonly, we knew the direct sun rays or inclination rays in the poles, the temperature is less due to the direct sun rays or direct solar or insolation in the equator. The more temperature in the oceanic body. Therefore, the almost 0 degree latitudes, the almost 0 to 30 degree north and 30 degree south latitudes has more a temperature or high a temperature. It is because of more heat received by the sun near equator as compared to poles. And one more factor is wind. In difference in temperature and pressure conditions result in movement of wind from one area to another. Again, the warm wind, for example, warm winds increases the temperature of the region. So, and cold wind increases the temperature of the region it passes. Means the either prevailing winds or regular winds or whatever the winds, the ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟರಿ ವಿಂಡ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಋತುಕಾಲಿಕ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ವಂಶಿಕ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರದ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದಂತಹ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸ್ತವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಓಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಓಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ predominant in the distribution of the temperature in the ocean. The agents of the oceanic currents work as agents in the distribution of the temperature over the world's oceans or world's water body. Movement of the water by wind in a particular direction is called ocean currents. The water move in the same direction like rivers, sometimes like river. They move from area to area because of the pressure and wind direction. Of course, the warm ocean current increases the temperature of the region. It passes like, for example, Gulf Stream and cold currents like Labrador current near Greenland. It decreases the temperature of the region it passes. So means ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಆ ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಒಂದು ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ಚಲನೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಸಾಗರದ ನೀರಿನ ಚಲನೆ ಆದಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡೊಯ್ಯುವಂತಹ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡೊಯ್ಯುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಮಾಡುವಂತದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐಸ್ ಬರ್ಜಸ್, ಹಿಮಗೆಡ್ಡೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದ ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಐಸ್ ಬರ್ಜಸ್. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಈ ಒಂದು ನೀರಿನ ಬಂಡೆಗಳು ಅಂತ, ಶೀತ ಬಂಡೆಗಳು ಅಂತ, ನೀರಿನ ಮೇಲ್ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂಜುಗೆಡ್ಡೆಗಳು ಏರ್ಪಡುವಂತದನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತೇಲ್ಪಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಮಂಜು ಗೆಡ್ಡೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಐಸ್ ಬರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. These ice bursts decreases the temperature of the ocean, water of which they are present. Where the ice bursts, there commonly in general the temperature is less. For example, polar region in the Antarctica continent, that is the Arctic Ocean, or in the Southern Ocean, which is close to the Antarctica continent. There's floating of ice. There are a number of ice bursts. In this case, the temperature is commonly, and one more the factor is salinity. ಸಾಗರದ ಲವಣತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The sodium chloride or whatever the ocean with high salinity like tropical areas have more temperature as compared to ocean near poles like Arctic Ocean. ಇದನ್ನ ಧ್ರುವೀಯ ಸಾಗರ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಧ್ರುವೀಯ ಸಾಗರಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಲಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಧ್ಯಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶವನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಧ್ರುವೀಯ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶವನ್ನ ಅದು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ the Arctic Ocean almost less temperature and ice bursts or floating of ice. See this and what is saline? Salinity refers to presence of dissolved salts in the sea water. ಎಷ್ಟು ಲವಣತೆ ಕರಗಿದೆ, ಒಟ್ಟು 1100 ಗ್ರಾಂ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲವಣತೆ ಕರಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಇದೇನು ಲವಣತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅಂತೀವಿ. It is calculated as parts per 1000 grams of sea water. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 100 ಗ್ರಾಂನಲ್ಲಿ 1000 ಗ್ರಾಂ ನೀರನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರಾಂ ಲವಣತೆ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ the average salinity of the sea water is 35%, 1000 grams of sea water. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1000 ಗ್ರಾಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 35 ಗ್ರಾಂ ನಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್, sodium sulfate, these are the dissolved, these are the saline thing. And what are the factors affecting on the salinity or the formation of saline? The temperature, fresh water, ocean currents, these are the predominantly affect on the salinity in the ocean water. Where the temperature, there is more evaporation coming. So the saline are mostly concentrated in the close to the equatorial region, because the 0 degree or 10 degree north and 10 degree south latitudinal sea beds experience more saline. So see, the areas which are near to the equator have high temperature, which results in high evaporation and adding salts on the ocean surface. One more factor is fresh water. Every day the rivers adding or oceans getting the fresh water. Where areas which receive fresh water from rivers have low salinity. Fresh water mixes with the water with salts and thus reduces its salinity. For example, the flowing water or rivers has more the magnesium and calcium. So these are the sweet. So where the river or gets entered to the ocean or sea, the salinity is less because of the fresh water. Where there is no less fresh water, there is high concentration of salinity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ನದಿಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಹೊಸದಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನೀರು ಬಂದು ಸೇರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಲವಣತೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುವಂತದನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ನೀರಿನ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರದ ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. And ocean currents. So believe or not, the almost all the changes in the ocean beds or ocean, so by oceanic currents. ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಪದ. They are never static. They are dynamic. They move from place to place in the same direction with high volume of water. Sometimes experience they move, the oceanic currents move like rivers. ನದಿಗಳ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರವಹಿಸುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದು ಈ ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ. Warm ocean currents carry high saline water to the area they move, and cold currents carries less saline water area they move. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಓಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಹೈ saline, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಆವಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆವಿ ಆದಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಲವಣತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಈ ಒಂದು ಉಷ್ಣೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಉಷ್ಣವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದಂತಹ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಇಂತಹ ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಲನೆ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಈ ಒಂದು ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡೋಗುವಂತದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು the cold currents refers only those currents are less temperature. So the ocean currents all are has a temperature, but compared to the warm current, the cold current is a less. So almost cold current moving from the polar region or the northern and the polar region, both of them are in north and south region. And salinity in enclosed seas. Enclosed seas are the sea which are covered from all sides. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಮುದ್ರಗಳು ಹೊಂದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹದನ್ನ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಂಚಿನ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲವಣತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. And Lake Van in Turkey have 330 and as the salinity. Dead Sea have 23. The salinity and Great Salt Lake have 220% of the salinity. Just to compare further, these are for 1,000 grams of sea water. And next we will discuss about the ocean currents. What they are, what are the causes, and is there any importance from, or is there any benefits to the society or to the environment or in the development of economy, or are they controlling the trade and commerce? Definitely the various uses from the oceanic currents. Means what they are, what are the oceanic currents? ಏನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Already I explained the regular movement of the ocean water. Means regular movement of ocean water from one part of the ocean to another is known as ocean current. ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸಾಗರದ ನೀರು ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಡುವುದನ್ನ ocean currents are never static. They are dynamic. ಅವು ಒಂದು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಚಲನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. You believe or not, the current's speed, average speed is around 2 to 10 kilometers per hour. ಒಂದು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ 2ರಿಂದ 10 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ತನ್ನ ವೇಗವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ they never go in the straight route. They changing their direction and they move from the coastal body and they controlling by the coastal body. That is a land mass. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂ ಅಂಚಿನ ಭಾಗಗಳ ಆಕಾರ ಏನು ಆಕಾರ ಅದರದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಚಲನೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುವಂಥದ್ದು. And again the temperature and winds are most responsible for this type of the movement of ocean occurrence. ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ನಿತ್ಯ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಅಥವಾ ಇವು ಸಾಗರದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ದಿಕ್ಕನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. And what are the causes? The various causes, but the temperature, salinity and density are the most affecting on the ocean currents. So we take the equatorial current, equatorial counter current, or from the polar current, and these are the currents determined or controlled by these things, the temperature. Because where the temperature is high, there become less pressure. These are the inversion, a relation between the temperature and pressure. The currents are far. The water become move from place to place. And salinity has high pressure. There's a more weight than less salinity body. So therefore, the pressure move always move high pressure to low. This is indirectly the salinity is caused to leads to the ocean currents. And rotation of the earth is very important. The rotation of the earth leads to the winds, especially the planetary winds. For example, trade winds and antitude winds and polar winds are due to the rotation of the earth. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಚಲನೆ ಸುತ್ತುವಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣವನ್ನು. And atmospheric pressure, for example, variable winds are also leads to these currents. ಅನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಅನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ಯಾವುದರ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. Sea breezes and land breezes, these are all indirectly they support to the ocean currents or movement of water in the ocean body. Evaporation and rainfall is also leads to the ocean current. ಈ ಒಂದು ಬಾಷ್ಪೀಕರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಳೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೆ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು. So almost in the equatorial region, the region experiencing rainfall every day. So ಈ ನಿತ್ಯ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಳೆ ಬೀಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ಅಥವಾ ಸಾಗರದ ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೀಸನ್, ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಋತುಮಾನಗಳ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ. The shape of the earth means, so the almost the coastal currents are where they meet and touch currents and change their direction because of the shape of the earth. Where there is no obstacles, where there is no disturbance, where there is no highlight, definitely the water. Where the obstacle or the prevent by the landmass, it changes its direction. ಸೊ ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಭೂಮಿಯ ಆಕಾರ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಆಕಾರವೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬೀರ್ತದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿವೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ winds and anti trade winds and polar winds are predominantly controlling these events, or sometimes these are responsible to generate the oceanic current, to generate oceanic current. ಇವತ್ತು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಇಕ್ವಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸಮಭಾಜಕತ್ವದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬೀಸುವಂತದನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 40 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಕ್ಷಾಂಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ವಿಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಬೀಸುತ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ಲಿ, ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಲಿ winds. So these are the means, the prevailing winds. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಮಾರುತಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ this is roaring 40, furious 50, screeching 60. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 40ರ ಅಬ್ಬರಗಾಳಿ, 50ರ ಉಗ್ರಗಾಳಿ, 60ರ ಅರಚುವ ಗಾಳಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಪಡಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. What are the oceanic currents in the Atlantic Ocean? So we move towards one by one. Okay, let's say there are broadly we can classify the ocean currents in the Atlantic, the North Atlantic current, South Atlantic currents, and Middle Atlantic currents. So North Equatorial current and that's the middle current, that's equatorial current again. That is North Equatorial current and South Equatorial current and equatorial counter current. So these three currents are generated in the close to the equator or due to the high at temperature. All are these three currents are warm currents, which they move with high temperature. Okay, and these are the important. This is and Gulf Stream current, Florida current, Canaries current, Labrador current, Brazilian currents. These are the important currents in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so Atlantic, that's equatorial, South Equatorial currents. The moving from the western part of Africa, it's almost Guinea. So and it's generate and moving towards the west direction. That is we called here we call the North Atlantic Equatorial currents. And again it touches to the Florida Strait and Florida Strait, and again it takes diversion, and one diversion or one branch move towards the north direction, and it touches to the it is here called the Gulf Stream current. Here the one branch touches to the eastern part of the North American coast. Here the current is called by name Gulf Stream, and in between the North Atlantic drift and Gulf Stream, so there one water that is current move from North Polar region, that is Baffin and David Strait. That's current we call Labrador current. ಇದನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರಡಾರ್ ಶೀತೋಷ್ಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಧ್ರುವೀಯ ಭಾಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಂತ್ಯದಿಂದ ಈ ಒಂದು ದಕ್ಷಿಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಗಲ್ಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಪ್ರವಾಹವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಉಷ್ಣದ ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರಡಾರ್ cold current and Gulf Stream cold current meet together, and here we call and again the one current move, and both of together move towards the east direction. Here we call North Atlantic drift current. So and again one current is from in between the Greenland and North Europe. So almost that is a Norwegian region. It is a Norwegian region. So and one current is come from the Greenland. That is here we call the Greenland current. That is East Greenland current. So it is from the east towards west direction. Labrador current is from the north to south. The Gulf Stream current is to that is it's right towards east direction. So again these all together it's become the North Atlantic region, and again it's take direction that is a diversion from or prevented by the European continent, and again one branch move towards north direction, that is east direction, northeast direction. Here we call Norwegian current. Here we call Norwegian warm, and again one current is moved towards south along the coast of the Canarian provinces, Canarian region. So therefore here we call the Canarian current. Canarian ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಅಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. And finally this Canarian current join where the North Equatorial current generate. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ಸಮಭಾಗ ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಸಮಭಾಗ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಏನು ಜನನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಂತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕೆನರಿಯನ್ and means in the almost the currents in the northern hemisphere they move towards the clockwise direction. In the southern hemisphere they move anti-clockwise direction because of the rotation and shape of the region or the continental body. And the current from the south equatorial region, so in between the one current move in between the north equatorial current and south equatorial current, one opposite current moves from the west to east direction. This here we call the equatorial counter current. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಮಭಾಜಕ ಪ್ರತಿ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಉತ್ತರ ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್ ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಏನು ಸಮಭಾಜಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳ ನೀರನ್ನು ಸರಿದೂಗಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದಾಗ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ here that is the equatorial counter current, and south equatorial current move toward from the western Africa, so and again move towards the west direction. So and finally it takes diversion. One diversion moves towards the south with touch the Brazilian coast. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲ್ ಭಾಗ ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲ್ ಕರಾವಳಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ಅದು ನಂತರ and again this Brazilian or this current moves towards south direction. So and one current from the west wind direction, that is we call the Falkland current. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಫಾಕ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಅಂತ ಅವೆರಡೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಈ ಒಂದು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಸಮಭಾಜಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲ್ ಕರಾವಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ವ ಕರಾವಳಿಯ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಭಿಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. Then again it's moved towards the east direction. Here where the Brazil current and Falkland current meet together, and this current moves towards the east direction, and finally the touch to the Venezuela. It is in Africa. The current and again it's called that is Atlantic circumpolar current. Okay, and again it's supply the water to the Venezuela current. So ಹೀಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆವರ್ತವನ್ನ ಇವು ಪೂರ್ಣಗೊಳಿಸುವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಡಿಯಾರದ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೆ, ಉತ್ತರ ಗೋಳಾರ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಡಿಯಾರ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಚಲನೆಯನ್ನು ಆವರ್ತವನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ಣಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತಹದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಒಂದು specific characteristics of the ocean currents. That is Atlantic and Pacific Ocean currents. So here also, like Atlantic currents, here also that is the North Pacific Ocean currents, South Pacific Ocean currents, and Middle Ocean Pacific Ocean currents. And Middle Ocean Pacific Ocean currents again got North equatorial current, South equatorial current, and counter equatorial currents. So almost like to the Atlantic Ocean currents. Here the Kuroshio, North Pacific current, Oyashio, California current, Peruvian or Humboldt currents are the main streams of the Pacific oceans. So here the almost the North equatorial current, it's from the almost middle part of the North America and South America in the western part, and again it moves to the west direction, and again it touches to the that is Kuroshio region, and here that North equatorial currents gets by name the Kuroshio currents. So and again it moves to the northeast direction. At that time the one current moves from that is Siberian region that we call Kotska current. That is a current region. Okay, here we call that is again straight. That is between Oyashio. That's almost in the so Japan. They almost these currents meet together in the Japan islands. So ಅದನ್ನ ಓಯೋಶಿಮೋ ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಓಯೋಶಿತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಕುರೋಶಿಮೋ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ where there is meet together there is a plankton. So therefore the famous fishing shelter from in this region, and again where the Oyashio and Kuroshio meet and the both of join and they move towards the east direction. Here we call North Pacific current. North Pacific current, and again it take two take diversion, one from towards north and towards one is south. So one move towards north, along the coast of Alaska. Then one is that is California. So that's a western coast of North America. That is California, and again they meet the way the North equatorial current. So again this North equatorial current it's completely one circle, and again in the South equatorial currents, again due to the high temperature, again the South equatorial current it's move towards the east direction and touch to the and that is a eastern Australia coastal body, and again it moves towards the towards south direction. Here the one current is move and join the East Australian currents. It's by the west wind drift. So the west wind drift is moved from the Indian Ocean. So and again this Eastern Australian current and west wind drift join and move towards the east direction, and again it's touched to the Peruvian island or Peruvian coast of South America. Here the current we call the Peru current, and again it moves towards the north direction, and again it's join where it starts the south equatorial currents. And again, in the southern region, southern Pacific region, the south equatorial completely complete the direction with anti-clockwise. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಡಿಯಾರ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ತನ್ನ ಆವರ್ತವನ್ನ ಉತ್ತರ ಗೋಳಾರ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ ಬಲಕ್ಕೆ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಗೋಳಾರ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಎಡಕ್ಕೆ ತಿರುಗುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. So here clearly, so and again the Indian Ocean. So here also the northeast monsoon drift, the southwest monsoon drift, north equatorial current, south equatorial current, Somali current, Mozambique current, Madagascar current, Agulas current. These are the major the currents in the Indian oceans. So please keep it in your mind. So almost these Indian ocean currents is generated by the monsoon effect or monsoon winds or the seasons. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಋತುಕಾಲಿಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯಿಂದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಉಂಟಾಗುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಗುಲಾಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್, ಮೊಜಾಂಬಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್, ಮಡಗಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯಾ ಕರಾವಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವೋ ಆ ಭಾಗದ ಹೆಸರನ್ನೇ ಕೊಡುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಓಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ predominated by the northeast monsoon and southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon winds. So ಏನು ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗ ಇದು ನೈಋತ್ಯ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಮತ್ತು ಈಶಾನ್ಯ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದಂತಹ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸ್ತವೆ. And what are the impacts from the ocean currents? Their influence is much pronounced on the climate of the coastal regions. So ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ವಾಯುಗುಣ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಯುಗುಣ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. Therefore, when we are going to consider the climate factor, so we consider the ocean current as a major. So their contribution is again ಒಂದು ಸಸ್ಯವರ್ಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಭೂಖಂಡ ಅಥವಾ ಖಂಡಭಾಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ತನ್ನದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ವಾಯುಗುಣವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಪಾತ್ರ ವಹಿಸ್ತವೆ. So and these currents change their climate. Almost the coastal regions change the climate changing by this or weather changing by this ocean currents. ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು ವಾಯುಗುಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹವಾಮಾನ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತದನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ದ್ರತೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಮಳೆಯ ಹಂಚಿಕೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸ್ತವೆ. They have also modified the climate of subpolar regions and have turned them into a good number of population. A typical example is that north western Europe. ಇವತ್ತು ಯುರೋಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅವರು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯ ಹಂಚಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಟು ದ ಟ್ರೇಡೆಡ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್. ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್. ಸೊ these are the currents are working as agents. So they balancing the temperature. They carry the temperature. Otherwise, suppose if the one current is not moved towards north, definitely the whole area is become the ice patch or become full of ice patch. They balance it. So these are help to the navigation. Indirectly they support the trade and commerce. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಕ್ಕೂ ಇದು ಅನುಕೂಲವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. And cold currents bring planktons, particularly particularly from polar and subpolar regions. What are these planktons? So planktons are the biotic components. So where the warm and cold current meet together. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಕ್ಟನ್ ಅಂತಹ ಏಕಕೋಶ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತವೆ. ಅವು ಮೀನಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಆಹಾರವಾಗುವಂತದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಆಹಾರವಾಗುವಂತ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಕ್ಟನ್ ಈಗ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕಾ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕಾ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಉಷ್ಣೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಮತ್ತು ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಧಿಸಲ್ಪಡ್ತವೋ ಆ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕಾ ವಲಯಗಳಾಗಿರುವಂತದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ. And where the meeting of the warm and cold currents is an ideal environment for rapid development of planktons. ಅದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಕ್ಟನ್ ಜೀವಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹದ್ದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. And chief source of food for fish. As a result, see, almost the commercial fishing grounds are located in the areas of the confluence of warm and cold currents in the temperature. ಉಷ್ಣವಲಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರಭಾವ, ಉಷ್ಣೋದಕ ಮತ್ತು ಶೀತೋದಕ ಪ್ರಭಾವಗಳು ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿವೆ. Even though shipping routes wherever possible follow the direction of currents. So ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಉಷ್ಣೋದಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನ್ಯಾವಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು. And what are the uses from the ocean? See, it's a sources of minerals. ಸಾಗರಗಳು ಒಂದು ಖನಿಜಗಳ ಸಾಗರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲೋರೈಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಶ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಹಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಖನಿಜಗಳನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ದ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿಯೋ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿಯೋ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾನವನ ದೈಹಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. And also it helps to generate the electricity. The carrying, the use water. So, and again one more, the essence of the carrying the materials from the continental shelf or continental regions, or cold region to warm or warm region to cold. But it's not much, but it's partially it helps to the transporting of this material to the inner bodies. So ಈ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಗರಿಕ ಪ್ರವಾಹಗಳು ತನ್ನದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿವೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು
Good afternoon, dear learners. Dr. Divya is Assistant Professor, Department of Studies and Research in Geography, Mukta Gangotri, Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. I hope you all doing well. Today we are here for the open elective paper, Introduction to Physical Geography. I know you are all from different streams and you have opted to study the open elective, the Introduction to Physical Geography. I welcome you all to this session. Since morning, you have learned about the different components of Earth, that is, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Let us understand the fourth component of uh, the fourth component of the Earth, that is biosphere, which is most important component where we all live. I hope this session will be interesting. This is the eighth unit of your introduction to physical geography. Dear learners, after hearing this, you will be able to understand the fourth component of Earth's environment, that is biosphere. Sorry. Biosphere, which is the fourth component of Earth's environment, it is one of the four sections of physical geography. Biosphere refers to the study of the zone of which is the habitat of all kinds of plants, animals, and microbial activity. Ecosystem and its functioning, food chain, food pyramid, and ecology, and you will be able to understand the meaning of biome and major biomes and their distribution. Then you can also understand the meaning and significance of biodiversity and types of biodiversity, the causes for the loss of biodiversity, need of biodiversity preservation, and lastly, you will be able to understand what are the methods of conserving the biodiversity. Let us come to know what is biodiversity, why we need to study this biodiversity. The field of physical geography is divided into four components, namely lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕೃತಿಕ ಭೂಗೋಳಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಲಿಥೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿಲಾಗೋಳ, ವಾಯುಗೋಳ, ಜಲಗೋಳ ಮತ್ತು ಜೀವಗೋಳ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಪಾತ್ರ ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಡೀಲ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಟು ದೇರ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸವಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತದೆ. It includes the study of lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere where any form of life exists. Living organisms interact with other organisms such as biotic and also with their environment, that is abiotic. This functional unit of biotic and abiotic components of an area is called as ecosystem. The size of the ecosystem varies from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. The entire Earth itself is a gigantic ecosystem consisting of an terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem and also all kind of man-made ecosystems. The term was introduced by Lamarck in the year 1802 and it is by Vendersky after 1929. It is an integral and unique feature of Earth. It is the sphere in which all forms of life exist and is responsible even for the evolution of life on the Earth, including man. ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಗೋಳವು ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾನವನ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೋ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತದೋ ಮತ್ತು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Different authors have defined biosphere in their own way. Let us see one by one. Mr. Oliver and Boyd defined biosphere as biosphere is the biologically inhabited part of the lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. According to Encyclopedia of Britannica, it is described as the region in which organisms are found is known as biosphere. ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜೀವಿಯನ್ನು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು ಅಂತಹ ಪದರವನ್ನು ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂತಹ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Repeat, the region which organisms are found as biosphere. According to Oxford Dictionary, regions Earth's crust atmosphere occupied by living matter. According to the Dictionary of Geography, the biosphere is and its atmosphere where life is able to exist. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಗೋಳವು ಭೂಮಿ ಮತ್ತು ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಭಾಗವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಗಳು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So let us see the characteristics of biosphere. Biosphere is a global girdle. Girdle ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕವಚ. Biosphere is a global extending to a height of about 6,000 meters above and 10,000 meters above sea level. It is the realm of organisms of complex form and coexistence. Current estimate that there are about 3 lakhs species of green plants and fungi and about 13 lakh species of animals. Besides includes innumerable types of bacteria and yeast. It is believed that there are many microorganisms unknown to man even today. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಬೌವ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ 6,000 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಗು ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಲೋ ದ ಸಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ 10,000 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಗು ಇದು ಜೀವಗೋಳವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಗೋಳದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಿಷ್ಟಕರವಾದ ಜೀವಗಳು ಸಹ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನ್ ಹಿಡಿದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯ ವಿವಿಧ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಮಗೆ 3 lakhs ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಸಿರು ಸಸ್ಯಗಳು ಫಂಗೈ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ತರಹದ ವಿವಿಧ ರೀತಿಯ ಜೀವಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ತರಹದ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನವನಿಗೆ ಇಂದೂ ಸಹ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ರೀತಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅರಿವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್? ಬಯೋಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಹೋಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ life like plants, animals, including man. Forms of life are most unique features of our earth. All forms of life are made up of 3 elements which are most abundant in nature. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ and oxygen. Other elements like nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and manganese are also required in small quantities. The elements fundamental to the life are known as nutrients. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಒಂದು ಜೀವ ಉಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇನ್ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ all components of the natural environment are complementary to the evolution and existence of life on the earth. Atmosphere has protected the life through greenhouse effect and also kept the earth warm to sustain the life. Atmospheric gases elements also play an important role in the sustenance of life. Carbon dioxide is essential for the photosynthesis process of plants and to produce food. Thus, the green plants form the chief source of food. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜೀವಗಳಿಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಚೀಫ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫುಡ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀಬಹುದು ಗ್ರೀನ್. All the animals of the world and human beings directly or indirectly are depending on the plants. as the source of their food. Even man has came into existence through evolutionary process in the biosphere over a long period of time. Thus, man is an integral part of the biosphere as well as a planet. The dead plants and animals are decayed and decomposed. Nutrients are once again added to the soil on which plants depend for their growth. Thus, all forms of plants and man are not only the integral part of biosphere but also depending on each other. ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಜೀವಗಳು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿರಲಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಗಳಾಗಿರಲಿ we are all into one another. We can't live independently. We are depending on each other. So it's essential for understanding of the natural environment of the earth. Ecosystem. Let us see what ecosystem. Ecosystem. The term ecosystem coined by Tansley A.G. in the year 1930s. Ecosystem and ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇ ಎಜಿ ಇಯರ್ 90. The interaction between the organisms and their natural environment is complex. In area, either small like a pond or a large like a continent, the interrelationship should be dealt together as they are closely related. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯು ಒಂದು ಪಾಂಡ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕೊಳದಷ್ಟು ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿನೂ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟ್ ಗಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿನೂ ಸಹ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರಲಿ ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. The entirety of living organisms in combination with physical and biological environment is termed as ecosystem. Forsberg, he is a scientist. He defines that the ecosystem is a functioning, interacting system composed one or more living organisms and their effective environment, both physical and biological. Thus, ecosystem is a functional unit of biotic and abiotic components of the area. Let us see what are the properties of ecosystem. The ecosystem of any given space time unit represents the sum of all living organisms and their physical. It is made up of three basic components, that is energy, biotics and abiotics. It takes up a specific area on the Earth's spaceship. Complex sets of interactions exist between biotic and abiotic components on the one hand and among the organisms on the other hand. It is an open system characterized by continuous matter and energy input and output. Let's see what are the components of ecosystem. Ecosystem consisting of abiotic and biotic components. Abiotic components ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಡಾಫಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And when we see in biotic components, we can see users, consumers and decomposers. Let us see what are the types of ecosystem. There are millions of ecosystems of varying size and types. All these ecosystems can be grouped into two categories. They are natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. The first one is natural ecosystem. All types of ecosystems of the earth which are naturally evolved are included under natural ecosystem. There are two major types of natural ecosystem, namely terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. These two categories are further subdivided into various groups. They are forest ecosystem, pond ecosystem, coastal ecosystem are some of the examples of natural ecosystems. Then the second one is man-made ecosystem. Man has modified the natural conditions to make use of the land and other materials for different purposes. It has He has induced different ecosystems such as agricultural plantations, parks, fish, pond, urban ecosystem, etc. These are the examples of man-made ecosystem. Some of the simple ecosystems are pond ecosystem and forest ecosystem. The structure of ecosystem. The ecosystem is a functional unit of interaction of living organisms with the non-living substances, that is, two biotic systems. They are autotrophic, heterotrophic. Autotrophic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ autotrophic components is the self-producers of food in the ecosystems are together known as the autotrophic components. ಅಂದ್ರೆ autotrophic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ತಾವೇ ತಯಾರಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತದನ್ನ autotrophic ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. They produce food with the energy received from solar radiation and the inorganic materials derived from the soil and atmosphere. The energy source and material sources are used to manufacture organic substances in the sense autotrophs. The second one is heterotrophic. It consists of consumers and decomposers. They use, rearrange, and also decompose organic substances made available from autotrophic components. In the ecosystem, every organism has its own role to perform, and this role performed by the organisms is called ecological niche, like producers, consumer, decomposer, etc. But some, some animals are specialists like polar bear eating only leaves. Similarly, the place where an organism live normally and well adapted to it is called as habitat. When we see the food chain, the chief source of energy is solar radiation. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ photosynthesis processes. The chief source of energy is solar radiation. It is responsible for all forms of life and movements of the Earth's surface. Energy is transferred from one component to another, which is described as the energy flow or the food chain. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ energy from one component to another component. It is called as food chain from because as told that we are all dependent on one another. We are not independent on this earth. So grasshopper depends upon the grass. Rat depends upon the grasshopper. Then the snake depends upon the rat. Then hawk depends upon the. This is the these processes called as the food chain. That the energy is transformed from one component to another. Illi grass in the energy grasshopper ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Grasshopper in the energy rat ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Rat to snake and snake to this for transformation of food energy transformation is called as food chain. In the entire biosphere, no form of life is isolated. Every form of life feeds on others. At the same time, it is eaten by others. As I told, everything is eaten by others. So the food chain is complex. The interrelationship of organisms also different levels. It is called as food web. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಹಾಪರ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಹಾಪರ್ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಟನ್ ಬೈ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಸೊ ದ ಫುಡ್ ವೆಬ್ is created. We read all these food chains, food webs, and trophic levels in your graduation level. I hope that in-depth definitions or details needed regarding these things. The trophic level in food chain called as, the transfer of food energy from one component to another take place at different series of steps or levels. Energy transfer at each system is usually referred as trophic level. An ecosystem usually there will be four to five trophic levels. We can see There are here there are four trophic levels. One is order of that is herbivore, carnivore. And finally, it comes to decomposers. Ecological balance ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಸರ ಸಮತೋಲನ. Plants and animals die, they are decomposed with bacterial activity and their nutrients are released to the soil. Thus, the energy flow cycle is naturally maintained with the natural process in the ecosystem. Perfect harmony between the biotic and abiotic environment on the one hand and between the organisms of biosphere on the other hand. The number of animals and plants and their interaction is perfectly maintained by nature. It is known as ecological balance. Natural cycles. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಜೀವಗೋಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಈಗ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಸೈಕಲ್. ಈ ಎಕೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಪರಿಸರ ಸಮತೋಲನ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ದ ecology. The ecological balance in an ecosystem maintains innumerable natural cycles. These cyclic processes are similar to food chain or nutrient cycle through which energy flows. Important natural cycles are carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, hydrogen cycle, and hydrological cycle. Let us see what is carbon cycle first. Carbon is an essential element found in all living beings. Plants derive dioxide from air for food preparation during the photosynthesis process. Plants are consumed by the animals and get compounds of carbon. Carnivorous animals eat the herbivores. Omnivores, like man, get carbon both from plants and animals. Animals convert carbon into carbon during respiration and release to air. Carbon dioxide is also liberated by decomposition of plants and animals after their death. Then next comes nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle circles continuously through soil, water, air, and living beings. Nitrogen cycle is all proteins and nucleic acids. Plants absorb nutrigenous compounds through their roots and synthesize proteins in their cells. Animals get nitrogen through the plants. Bacteria and fungi decompose the dead plants and animals and then release the nitrogen to the air. Oxygen cycle. All the living beings on the earth need oxygen respiration. In the nature, the oxygen cycle is constantly going on the on and abandoned. Green plants absorb carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere and convert into oxygen photosynthesis. Cycle. Water is essential for all plants and animals. During photosynthesis, hydrogen is produced by the dissociation of water, which forms after combining with carbon dioxide. Herbivores animals get food, plant and omnivores animals get food from plants. Carnivores and omnivores get hydrates from plants animals. These are the different cycles which is very useful for the equal balance. Man and ecological. Nature perfectly maintains the ecological balance through natural cycles as well as through maintaining the number of organisms and animals. As there is limitation of food controls animal population, interference of man in the nature has caused large in the natural every organisms in the nature is linked complex ecosystem. Man in the process of utilization of resources has caused disturbance balance. As a result of ecological disturbances, several new problems have such as biological imbalance, global warming, greenhouse effect, and depletion of ozone layer. As you all know, nature perfectly maintains the ecological balance through natural cycles as well as through maintaining the number of organisms and animals. What are imbalances are these are the as a result of imbalances what I have said biological imbalances happens global warming, greenhouse effect, acid rain, depletion of yes, these are the main main effects of ecological imbalances. Let us see what is biological imbalance. Biological or ecological imbalance refers to disturbance in the ecological balance due to human ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಂದನೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So he is the main cause for the ecological imbalances. If the relative number of organisms are more or less in a balanced state, as a result of human interference, some of the organisms are eliminated or destroyed, and the number of other species have increased. There are several such problems at present. Some of the examples of biological imbalances are due to deforestation, wild animals are entering into agricultural fields. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅರಣ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಪಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅರಣ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸವಾಗಿರೋ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಸಹ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಿಂಹ ಚಿರತೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹರ್ಬಿವೋರ್ಸ್ animals has caused scarcity of food for the carnivores. Cultivation of a single crop over a wide area increases the disease for the particular crop, such as mite problem of coconut. The monkey fever of a region is believed to be related with the destruction of forest. As we all know, the monkey fever is increasing in recent days. It is one of the main causes for this fever is destruction. The second one is global warming. Greenhouse effects of global warming is defined as progressive warming up due to increase of certain gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen gas, and ozone. These are called noble gases. Though accounts minute percentage in atmospheric gases influence on climatic condition. The Earth gets from the solar radiation, whereas atmosphere gets temperature from the terrestrial radiation in the form of long waves. Thus, atmosphere is transparent to solar radiation but non-transparent to the Earth's radiation. In the recent large-scale pollution, the percentage of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases is increasing. Terrestrial radiation is trapped in the Earth's atmosphere, so the temperature is continuously increasing one decade to another. It is described as global warming. It is estimated that the average Earth's atmosphere in the last 100 years has increased about 0.6 degrees Celsius. If it continues further, if the atmospheric temperature is increased about 2 degree to 3 degrees Celsius, it will be a large-scale implications as most of the ice caps and ice sheets will be melted, the mean sea level and causes submergence lowlands of the earth, the entire pattern of climate will change, the distribution of plants and animals will be affected, even the population distribution is altered. The third effect is greenhouse gases. Global warming is caused mainly greenhouse effect, an account of large-scale air pollution atmosphere acts as greenhouse. It is transparent and allows solar radiation, and it is non-transparent for long waves of the terrestrial radiation. Thus, with the increase of carbon dioxide, the Earth's atmosphere is experiencing temperature. This is called as the greenhouse effect. Comes acid rain. The term acid rain is used to denote rainwater and snow mixed acids. It is mainly caused with the emissions of sulfur dioxide, nitric acids, automobiles, power plants, and industries. The released sulfur compounds due to chemical reactions in the atmosphere. For example, sulfur dioxide reacts vapor to form the sulfuric acid in the presence of sunlight. Acid get mixed with the rainwater and snow and falls on the ground. Thus, it is cause of air on a large scale. Even of petrol and diesel produce nitrogen, which acid water. Quite often, many oil wells caught fire, smoke reach even half places and turn snow into black color. Then lastly, the depletion of ozone layer. The air pollution also makes solar radiation, which badly affects on the human health. Depletion of ozone layer has already caused serious concern to the world. The ozone layer of the atmosphere protected all the living beings by the deadly ultraviolet rays of the sun. The ozone layer extends from 25 to 40 kilometers. In nature, ozone is produced with the ultraviolet rays of the sun. The ultraviolet rays by dissolving its opponent, thus the radiation forming ozone layer. Thus, an ozone cycle is at upper layer atmosphere in which ozone and oxygen remains in the equilibrium. The causes which are effects of ecological imbalance, rheological imbalance, warming, greenhouse effect, acid rain, and depletion of ozone layer. So that we have to maintain the ecological balance and safeguard our environment. The next biomes. The biome is a large community of vegetation and wildlife that adapted to a specific climate. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ವೆಜಿಟೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಬಯೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It is normally used in North America to refer large segment of Earth's surface with similar climate distinct vegetation and wildlife. Biome is a specific environment that is home to living things suited for that place and climate. The word biome from two Greek words, bios means life and oma means group of ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಯೋಮ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The word was first used by American ecologist Clements in the year 1916 and it is one ecological studies. Sometimes ecozone, ecoregion are also used to biome. ಅಂದ್ರೆ biome ಅನ್ನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಕೋಝೋನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಕೋ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಸಹ sometimes ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Classification of biomes. Ecologists have identified biomes in relation to climate and soil conditions. The entire Earth is basically divided into two terrestrial, that is terrestrial and aquatic biomes, as the special species of land are contrasting. Further, these are subdivided. Some of the most important well and well-known biomes are coniferous forest, deciduous biome, desert biome, grassland biome, tropical rainforest biome, tundra biome, Arctic biome, mountain biome, freshwater biome, and biome. Let us discuss one by one. First one is con- coniferous forest. The coniferous forest biome is found in the south of the Arctic tundra, occupying large area of the North Hemisphere. It extends Alaska across North America to Atlantic Ocean and Eurasia. The biggest stretch of coniferous forest on the earth is in the northern hemisphere and is also known as taiga or boreal forest. These woodlands are comprised principally of cone-bearing trees, for example, spruce, fir, and hemlock, which are up a cool climate. The temperature in the coniferous biome goes below freezing point for the most of the year except during short summers. Weather remains cold with only snowfall. Due to such harsh conditions, only few plant species exist. Animals like ermine, the moose, polar bear, red fox, and the polar rabbit thrive is in this biome. The cold weather makes it very difficult for plants and animals to survive. The next comes deciduous forest biome. Large area of this biome is in the northern hemisphere. Significant areas are found in eastern North America, Europe, and South and Southeast Asia. The word deciduous means out at a season. This is why deciduous leaf shedding or leaf falls out is during winter. Due to lack of moisture, trees shed leaves. Leaf shed is followed by flowering and fruit bearing in the tree. The characteristic rotting of the fallen leaves enhancing the dirt and helps to support the variety of types of animals and plant life. Monsoons land are well known deciduous forest. In any case, fruitful soil is likewise useful for cultivation, and in Eurasia, the greater parts of the deciduous woods have been cut down to make space for farms and homes. This is the reason why most of the deciduous forests features only in protected forest. The trees in deciduous forests lose their leaves during winter and the color of leaves changes during autumn. The most common type of trees are ash, oak, lime, beech, birch, and arrow wood teak, sandalwood in India. As soil is fertile, some of the great agricultural regions are found in this biome. The third one is desert biome. The name refers to the land where annual rainfall is less than 25 centimeters. Deserts of tropical and subtropical are well known with unique features. A desert is a zone where presence of life is limited, primarily due to absence of water. Researchers gauge that around one-fifth of the world's surface is desert that receives less than 25 centimeters rainfall. Deserts can be found in every continent except Europe. Some of the largest deserts are Sahara, Kalahari, and Namib belonging to xerophytes, Deserts in Africa, Arabian deserts, Thar deserts of India, Tamakhan deserts of China, Mongolian deserts of Mongolia, deserts of Iraq, Syria. Hot and dry deserts have few species of plants as the temperature can reach up to 49 degrees Celsius. They have high temperature because of little vegetation cover, less cloud cover, little rain, and high exposure to the sun. Most of these types of deserts are found near the or Tropic of Capricorn. Cold deserts are found near the Arctic part of the world where temperature can go up to Celsius. During summers, the severely cold winters in which mercury chops 25 degrees Celsius. The extremes of climate give little chance to the growth of vegetation and its capacity to support wildlife is also very limited. The quite heavy snowfall during winters. The fourth one is grassland biome. Grassland biomes are one of the most important and unique biome of the world. The grasslands are hot and dry conditions with short rainy season, ideally for the growth of grass. They are known all through the world by like prairies in North America, wild in South Africa, savanna in Central Asia, Central Africa, campos in Brazil, llanos in Venezuela, Australian in savanna, steppes in Central Asia, downs in South Asia, Southeast Australia, busts in. This land biome is made of extensive area of grasslands. It gets so little rain that very few trees can develop which can withstand long droughts. The trees are stunted, which appears like splendid trees of the parks. So these grass are also called parklands of the world. There are two main types of grasslands: tropical and temperate grasslands. Tropical grasslands cover more than one third of the Africa and large areas of the Australia, South America, and India. These are found in the hot and warm climates. Temperate grasslands are found in South America, South Africa, Argentina, and some plains of Central North America and Asia. Temperature in temperate grassland varies from summer to winter, with high temperatures in summer and freezing temperature during winters. The next comes mountain biomes. Mountains exist on all the main continents of the earth. A large portion of the world's mountains lies in two very large chains. The Circum-Pacific Chain, regularly called the Ring of Fire, runs from the west bank of the Americas through New Zealand and Australia and up through the Philippines to Japan. The other significant chain are called Tethyan Range extends from the Pyrenees between Spain and France in the west to the Alps to the Himalayas in the east, extending further until finally ending in the area around Indonesia. The sixth one is tropical rainforest biome. These are also most typical biomes found in the few areas of hot and wet climate in the lowlands of tropical and subtropical region. These are found in Asia, Africa, South America, Central America, and also on a significant Pacific islands. A large portion of the world's tropic rainforest is in the South American nation Brazil is selvas. Hot and wet conditions around a year produce ideal conditions for luxurious growth of tall trees growing up to 30 meters. The trees are thick and forms a thick canopy. They are the habitat of wide variety of animals and birds. Tundra biome. It is a forestry unlivable treeless territory of low, swampy fields in the far north around the Arctic Ocean. It includes the northern terrains of Europe, Asia, North America, and also the greater part of Greenland. Climate is extremely cold and the temperature never rises to the more 10 degree Celsius. Precipitation is largely in the form. Winters are long and severe. This is the world's coldest biome, being it is devoid of any trees and the vegetation in this biome largely consists of leaves and grass which grow during the short summer seasons. The ground of the Arctic tundra has forever solidified subsoil called permafrost, which makes it hard for trees to develop. Freshwater biome. Water is a major natural resource, the basis of life. It supports life and countless species live it in the all parts of their lives. Freshwater biomes supply our drinking water and water for crop irrigation. This water biome is named for low concentration of salt found in the water because salt is important for the body to function properly. The plants and animals have adaptations that help them have save salt. This includes most streams, lakes, and rivers. Freshwater biomes have suffered mainly from pollution. Runoff containing fertilizers and other waste and industrial dumpings enter into rivers, ponds, and lakes and tend to promote abnormal rapid algae growth. The next to last one is marine biome. This water biome is the largest biome in the world as it includes the five major oceans that are 70% of the earth. Marine water has high levels of salt, so animals and plants living here have adaptations that help them get rid of salt. The world's ocean affect the global climate highly as forests has a high capacity for absorbing heat and because of the earth is mostly covered with water. It keeps the temperature of the atmosphere fairly constant and able to support life. In addition to this, climate climate buffering capacity, the ocean contains several photosynthetic plankton which account for most of the photosynthesis occurring on the earth. Without these, there might not enough oxygen to support such a large world population and complex animal life. Large amount of carbon dioxide is also absorbed by organisms of large oceans. So oceans are called as carbon. These are the different biomes which we discussed. Then what is biodiversity? The ಜೀವ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ. ಜೀವ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? The diversity was said to be G. Rosen in the year 1985. In addition to biological diversity, was also used synonym to biodiversity. At present, the term biodiversity is commonly in all ecological and environmental sciences. Biodiversity was one of the important issues of the Earth Summit 1992 held at Rio de Janeiro of Brazil. Thus, biodiversity is one of the major problems of the present world. Biodiversity is the variety of life found in the planet Earth. Sometimes it is also called biological diversity. It refers to all types of species living in area which includes variety of plants, animals, fungi, and microorganizations. In the Earth Summit, biodiversity is defined as an all organisms of all ecosystems of both terrestrial and aquatic regions. Types of biodiversity. Biodiversity is classified into three types. They are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity. Genetic diversity ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it refers to the variety of species in an area. Richness of biodiversity is indicated by variety of species in the region. Ecological diversity. It refers to diversity of ecosystems in a particular region, that is, mangroves, rainforest, deserts, etc. All different habitats like tropic forest, temperature system, wetlands, rivers, mountains, coral reefs, etc. Genetic species diversity. It refers to the decrease of biodiversity or loss of biodiversity and conservation. It refers to the decrease of biodiversity or biological diversity within a defined geographical area, varying from the smallest ecosystem to biosphere. This loss can lead to breakdown in the functioning of ecosystem. Every as every organism is a link in the ecosystem. Human interference in is mainly responsible for the loss of biodiversity. Some of the most important causes for the biodiversity losses are habitat loss, destruction and fragmentations reduce the habitat of species, poaching of animals reduce their numbers, man-wildlife conflict causes reduction in the wild, introduction of invasive species which are non-native significantly affect the ecosystem, overexploitation, acting for more biotic resources like fish, trees, etc. deplete their nature. Pollution has affected every aspect of nature by creations, health problems, species survival. It also alters quality of habitat. Climate change associated with the global warming has modified Earth's climate, has caused changes in the temperature and precipitation pattern affecting affecting the environment and has caused change in the ecosystem. Extension of cultivation, mining, construction of roads and railways, settlements, irrigation, power projects have caused destruction of forests. So many species have deprived their habitats. The primary drivers of biodiversity loss are influenced by the exponential growth of human population, increasing consumption. People strive for more affluent and lavish lifestyles associated with economic development. Biodiversity hotspots. A biodiversity hotspot is a region of biodiversity in which many species are endemic, which are threatened by habitat loss. Biodiversity hotspot was introduced in 1988 by Norman Myers. Thus, biodiversity hotspots are known to have high diversity of species, of which many are endemic. Area must be located near human habitations, which causes habitat loss, threatening the endemic species. This vulnerable situation of endemic species is termed as hotspot. Early species are the ಅಳಿವಿನ ಅಂತಹ ಜೀವಿ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆಗಳ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಟ್ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. These species become extinct it there is no proper conservation. Most of the world's hotspots are in the tropics. More about 36 biodiversity hotspots in the world. There are two such hotspots in India, namely Western Ghats and Eastern Himalayas. These are the identified higher biodiversity hotspots around the world. How to conserve the biodiversity? Biodiversity refers to the protection, upliftment, and scientific management of biodiversity so as to maintain it at its threshold level and derive sustainable benefits for the present and future generations. Of biodiversity is essential to preserve the biodiversity of species, sustainable utility of species, and ecosystems. Biodiversity is protected protected by various means, which can be divided into two types, that is in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Sum up. Let us sum up. Biosphere is an important segment of physical geography with the all living organisms on Earth. The word biosphere refers to the zone of the living organisms. Ecology is concerned with the study of living organisms and their environment. Ecosystem refers to the functional unit and abiotic components of an area which are in the ecosystem produced by plants and is transferred from one component to another, which is energy flow or food chain, which is highly complex, such as is known as food web. There is a perfect balance of life in the biosphere in which these are interdependent and all organisms are depending on organic elements through cycles. This balance is in the recent period by humans through various activities called ecological imbalance. It has caused global warming, acid rain, etc. Large areas of the earth have similar climate and other natural factors which have similar type of vegetation and animal life. These are known as biomes. Biomes are named after the dominant type of vegetation. There are 10 important biome regions which are clearly recognizable. Refers to the variety of life forms found in an area which varies from one region to another. Biodiversity is most significant as it is the storehouse of several material and non-material that man gets. This biodiversity is also depleted in the recent years, which is called a loss of biodiversity. So there are many programs and policies for the conservation of biodiversity. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬಯೋಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನೇನು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಗೋಳ. ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಕೃತಿಕ ಭೂಗೋಳಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫೋರ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿಲಾಗೋಳ, ಜಲಗೋಳ, ವಾಯುಗೋಳ ಮತ್ತು ಜೀವಗೋಳ. ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ ಇವಾಗ ಜೀವಗೋಳ. ಸೊ ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ವಾಸವಾಗುತ್ತದೋ, ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ತನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ಅವಲಂಬಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಜೀವಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂತಹ ಪ್ರದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜೀವಗೋಳ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಕಾಲಜಿ ಪರಿಸರ ಘಟಕ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫುಡ್ ವೆಬ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಫುಡ್ ಚೇನ್, ಟ್ರಾಪಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ರಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್. ಓಕೆನಾ. ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಮತೋಲನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಅಂತ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಸೈಕಲ್. ಈ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೇನೆ ಜೀವಗೋಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್, ನಾವು ಸಮತೋಲನವನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು. ಪರಿಸರ ಸಮತೋಲನ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್, ಮಾನವನ ಅತಿನ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಫಾರೆಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಆ ತರದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪರಿಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಮತೋಲನವನ್ನ ಕಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಮ್ಸ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 10 ರೀತಿಯ ಬಯೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅವು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟಂಡ್ರಾ ಬಯೋಮ್, so we have studied coniferous forest biome, deciduous biome, desert biome, grassland biome, tropical rainforest biome, tundra biome, Arctic biome, mountain biome, freshwater biome and marine biome. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲಾನು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ನಾವು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಳಿವಿನ ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಸೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ come to the department and clarify. Thank you.